Welcome to Integrity 444 LTQS/EFV. I'm Coach Christian. This message is for the person crying quietly at night, the person who holds it together during the day, the person who answers the messages, shows up to work, handles responsibilities, takes care of children, supports other people, smiles when needed, keeps moving, keeps functioning, keeps producing. But then night comes. The room gets quiet. The responsibilities slow down. The phone gets still. And the body finally says, "Can we tell the truth now?" This teaching is called For the Person Crying Quietly at Night. And I want you to hear this clearly from the beginning. The wound is real, but it is not your final name. The wound is real. We do not deny it. We do not spiritualize it away. We do not minimize it. We do not say, just get over it. We do not shame the body for remembering. We do not shame the tears for coming. We do not shame grief for needing time. But we also do not let the wound become the final identity. You are not only what happened to you. You are not only who left. You are not only who lied. You are not only who betrayed. You are not only who misunderstood you. You are not only the pain you had to survive. The wound is real, but it is not your final name. There is a kind of grief that waits until the room gets quiet. Some grief does not come when you are busy. It waits. It waits. It waits until the car ride. It waits until the shower. It waits until the edge of the bed. It waits until everyone else is asleep. It waits until you no longer have to perform strength. Then it rises. And many people shame themselves in that moment. They say, why am I still crying? Why am I not over this? Why do I still care? Why does this still hurt? Why am I so sensitive? Why can't I just move on? But the healer does not begin with shame. The healer begins with compassion and truth. Compassion says, I am allowed to be affected by what affected me. Truth says, I will not pretend this did not cost me something. Healing begins when the wounded part of you is no longer forced to perform strength. Some of you have been asking the wound to act healed. You have been asking grief to be productive. You have been asking your body to stay calm in situations that keep reopening old pain. You have been asking your nervous system to be silent while your life keeps negotiating with truth. But the body remembers. The body stores what the mouth could not say. The body keeps the record when the man was trying to survive. That tight chest, that stomach drop, that sudden exhaustion after a conversation, that heaviness after a message, that shutdown after conflict, that panic when someone's tone changes. That is not always weakness. Sometimes that is data. Sometimes your body is telling the truth before your mind has permission. Now, let me be precise. Every feeling is not a final conclusion. Every emotion is not automatically the whole truth. But every repeated signal deserves compassionate attention. The healer asks, what is my body trying to tell me? What truth have I been afraid to name? What part of me still needs safety? What pain have I been trying to outrun? What would it mean to stop abandoning myself tonight? Many people delay healing because they are waiting for the apology. They are waiting for someone to admit what happened, waiting for someone to understand, waiting for someone to finally say, yes, I hurt you. Yes, I lied. Yes, I manipulated. Yes, I dismissed you. Yes, I see what it cost you. Accountability matters. Repair matters. Truth matters. But your healing cannot wait for someone else's maturity. Some people may never apologize. Some people may apologize only when access is threatened. Some people may say the words but never change the pattern. Some people may be more attached to their image than your healing. So the question becomes, will your healing wait for someone who benefits from your delay? The healer says, do not leave your healing at the door of someone who refuses accountability. You can begin returning to yourself before they validate your pain. You can begin telling the truth before they agree with it. You can begin protecting your peace before they understand your boundary. You can begin healing before closure arrives. Closure is helpful, but return is necessary. And sometimes closure is this. I finally believe what I lived through. I finally stop arguing with my own body. I finally stop asking unsafe people to validate safe truth. I finally stop waiting for the person who wounded me to approve my healing. That is return. Now I want to give you a practice. This is called the night return. Use this when grief comes at night. Use it when your body feels heavy. Use it when you feel tempted to reopen a wound for validation. Use it when you are tired of pretending you are fine. Place one hand on your heart. If it feels safe, place the other hand on your stomach. Take one slow breath. Say, I am here. I believe what I lived through. I do not have to solve everything tonight. I do not have to perform strength tonight. I can tell the truth gently. I can grieve without becoming the grief. I can rest without betraying my healing. I can return to myself, one breath at a time. Now ask yourself, what part of me is hurting right now? What does this part of me need to hear? What truth have I been afraid to name? What is one thing I can do tonight that does not abandon me? Maybe it is drinking water. Maybe it is turning off the phone. Maybe it is journaling one page. Maybe it is praying. Maybe it is breathing. Maybe it is going to sleep. Maybe it is saying, I will not text them tonight. Maybe it is saying, I will not reopen the wound for validation tonight. Maybe it is saying, I will not explain myself to someone committed to misunderstanding me. Healing is often built through small acts of self-return. Not always dramatic, not always public, not always visible. Sometimes healing is one quiet decision. I will not abandon myself tonight. The healer path is not weakness. The healer path is sacred strength. It is softness with truth, compassion with boundaries, grief with dignity, tenderness with structure. The healer says, the wound is real, but it is not your final name. So if you are crying quietly at night, I want you to know, you are not weak because you fear. You are not broken because you remember. You are not behind because healing is taking time. You are not dramatic because your body is telling the truth. You are not disqualified because you are tired. You are human and you are returning. One breath at a time. One truth at a time. One boundary at a time. One act of self-compassion at a time. If this teaching spoke to you, comment healing. If you are returning to yourself, comment return. I'm Coach Christian. This is Integrity 444 LTQS/EFV. Heal softly. Tell the truth completely. And remember, the wound is real, but it is not your final name.